know the pedigree. You know the pedigree.
Today's guest is a multi-talented reality TV star, actress, singer, entrepreneur. She is best known for being a reality TV personality on the Love and Hip Hop franchise. She is an accomplished actress who has graced the screen on such shows as Tyler Perry's The Oval, Reasonable Doubt, and movies like The Comeback with Taye Diggs. She is a graduate of Southern Illinois University, where she received her graduate's degree in radiation science. She is a mother of two beautiful children, a boy and a girl, Mega and Ame. Most people don't know that she was born in Germany. She is a true Blasian. Fellas, she is single. And I'm so glad that I am welcoming her to the show. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Go.
Thank you for having me. That was a lot. That was a very good entrance, guys. Yes. I appreciate that.
How you been? You good?
Blessed. I'm constantly learning daily.
Okay.
Working towards just like being the best version of myself that I can possibly be. Right. I think this is the most peaceful place in my life that I've been ever. My kids are happy.
Okay.
I am happy internally. I feel centered. I feel grounded. I feel blessed for whatever it is that I do have.
Okay.
But yeah, just working, doing my acting stuff. Also doing stuff in the hospital with patients. People know now that like I have a degree in radiation science, and so I work with patients here and there.
You're doing something.
So when I'm not on a set, I'm in the outpatient center helping people and serving the community. And and then when I'm not doing those things, I'm a mom.
Your mom. That's full time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's talk about, let me see. I met you a few years ago. You are a neighbor. And,
yes, I am.
And initially I was like, man, I heard that, we got, you in our building from a couple other people. And, first I saw you and a little standoffish because initially when we see us, I'm like, damn, hey, how you doing? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm very open, I'm very welcoming, but I would kind of stand, you were dating Taye Diggs at the time.
Yes, I was.
And, walking the dog and very standoffish. I said, damn, okay, I'm not gonna mess with them. You know what I'm saying? Let me just, I understand it, in the public eye, but I ended up finding out you were a friend of a friend.
Yes.
And she's very good people, dear to my heart, Lene.
Yes, love you.
I said, you know what, dang, like, let me give this another try.
Let me speak to her.
Speak to her again, you know what I'm saying? And ever since that day, I was like, you know what, Shorty is cool, you know what I'm saying? So, we don't know each other that well, but I do. I'm a good judge of character.
Thank you.
And you're somebody of character. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just thankful for. And we talked about somebody trying to I don't know if they were robbing you or something.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
It's been a lot that has happened in that building.
Okay.
But yeah, it's been a pleasure being your neighbor and your wife and the kids, and it's you guys are very, very nice to basically share a community and space with.
Well, hey, listen, it's just good, having a conversation with you and getting to know you now, and I just thank you for coming on the show.
Of course.
Let's talk about your childhood. Okay. You were born in Germany?
Germany.
I have a friend of mine who was born in Germany, Patrick Kojo. I don't know if you know Boris, but they were.
Yes. Yeah. Boris.
Yeah, they were.
We've talked about that, me and him, when we've talked, because I've met him through Taye.
Oh, okay.
So he did tell me he was born in Germany, and we kind of actually had conversations about that.
So me and his brother are like really close. We used to hoop together. I used to be at the house all the time, but they speak fluent German.
Yes.
You speak German?
No. I lived there for 4 years. I was born on a base there. But I actually met his mom. So I went to, I think, his 50th.
Yeah.
She's so nice.
She's really nice.
His mother's so nice. But they're also,
So born there, you lived there until you were 4. Tell me about that experience.
Lived there until I was 4. My father was in the military, in the Army. After that, we ended up moving to Chicago.
Talk about, do you remember anything from Germany?
No.
It was too young.
I was too young.
Okay, so pops. So your parents were together?
Parents were together, having issues around that time, but were together. I don't recall much of anything at that time.
Okay.
I think where I most remember is basically when I was 5, moving back from Germany into into the States, living in Fort Sheridan on that base.
Okay.
And I lived there for a year, and it was very tumultuous around that time, just between my mom and my father and their relationship, and not knowing what was happening. But just I was the youngest. I was the baby of 4, kids. And so what my experience was very different than all of the rest of my siblings, because they were very present and they saw a lot that was happening. And I think I was in a space where they were trying to protect me.
Okay.
And they did a really good job at doing it. Like I saw certain things, but their experience is much more different than mine. But yeah, my father ended up basically being incarcerated. And at that time, my mom, she still to this day is the only person that lives in the United States. All her family is in Taiwan. So that side of my family is in Taiwan. And yeah, when all of that happened, I ended up moving to...
Let's talk about being tumultuous.
Okay.
5 years old, what do you mean by that?
Just like my father,
arguing, fighting,
like father cheating on mom, recognizing that my mom was kind of like going through domestic stuff with my father. And
you would see that?
Yes.
Okay.
So I saw some of that. But like I said, I was very much so protected. You know what I'm saying?
So you had the older siblings. How much older are they?
So oldest sibling 10. We're all 3.5 years apart.
Okay.
Oldest sibling 10 years from me. My brother 7 years from me, and then my other sister 3 years.
Okay.
So
are you guys close? Did you guys grow up?
No. So that's a whole other thing.
Okay. Come on.
So we all basically lived together when my mom and my father were together. But once my father got incarcerated, our family got kicked off the base.
When was this?
When I was 5.
And when you were you got incarcerated when you were 5?
Right. Yeah, when we moved back to the
okay, moved back. How did he get incarcerated?
So I didn't know this at the time. I thought it was the whole domestic stuff, but clearly it was something else. And still to this day, I'm really like, what is that? You know what I mean? But
some drugs, was it, you don't know.
I know that he's done that throughout the course of time, but I believe like certain things that happened on base, right?
Okay. But you don't know. They kind of
something that happened on base.
Okay.
But basically, when he ended up going to jail, my mom,
Were you there? Did you see it?
No. Okay. My mom basically, we got kicked off the base.
You got kicked off the base.
Correct. And
so one day your mom just packed up and said, "Hey, we got to go." Do you remember that day?
No.
You don't remember that? Okay.
But I think a lot of my memories were like, I pushed it to the side because I had a very traumatic childhood with being split from, obviously dad is gone now, and being like, what the heck?
Right.
And then my mom, we ended up staying with my grandmother in Cincinnati. Right. That's how I flooded over to Cincinnati, was because my mom was like, well, I don't have family here. Where are we gonna go?
Okay.
So that was my father's mom, my grandmother, that took us in.
Mm-hmm.
And we lived there for a little while, all of us did. Until my mom was like, well, I need to go back to Chicago and kind of like work and get myself together. I'm gonna take the 2 oldest, which was my sister Liz and my brother William. I'm gonna take the 2 oldest back to Chicago
and leave
me and my sister,
yes.
because we have the same father.
Okay.
Leave us with my grandmother.
Okay, so you guys have the same father.
Correct.
They have the same father.
Correct.
Okay.
Well, they have, my brother has a different dad and my older sister has a different dad, but me and my sister who stayed with my grandmother, we have the same father. Correct.
Okay.
And so she was like, I'm going to keep you guys there and let me get on my feet. Let me get the 2 oldest on their way. So when you asked about the siblings, we weren't raised together. We split holidays and stuff.
So like you and your 3-year-old sister.
Yeah, the one that was
the one that's
3.5 years older than me.
Right.
Yes, we were together.
Okay. So are you guys close?
We're very close.
Okay.
Yes, and she lives in Houston. Love you, Echo. Oh, she gonna hate that I said Jasmine. Ooh, I don't like that name. We call her Echo.
Okay.
Y'all can't call her Echo.
So that's a family thing.
Yeah.
That's family.
But yeah, so my sister lives in Houston, but yeah, we lived in Cincinnati. And
so how was that experience? You
horrible.
Going with your grandmother?
No, my grandmother was amazing, but like when you talk about the siblings, just to back onto the siblings, like I didn't have that. Like when I think about, my grandmother did a really good job of raising me and my sister. So I am grateful for that.
Like what? Do you mean core values? Did you church? Like what?
Church, core values. It's one of those things where she wasn't maybe the best parent to her children, but she became the greatest parent and had a second chance with us. And you know, that's why I really believe in change, and I believe people can do better and want to do, you know, like, cause she really raised us well. You know what I mean? Like, to be good
by
people.
herself. Did she?
By herself.
Oh, so she wasn't still married. Did she have a man? You know,
not until later years when we moved. Me and my sister moved back.
So did you have a male presence?
I didn't.
Growing up, it was grandma and mom. Okay.
And like my Uncle Clifford, who was my father's brother. Like he was a male presence.
And this was from 5 until
11. 5
until 11. Those are
my developmental years.
Developmental years.
Yeah. And so I would move. So I would go back and forth from Chicago to Cincinnati to, you know, because my mom would send for us. You know what I mean? She would send. Yeah, she would send for us. She'd be like, "No, I want my kids on the holidays," and that was amazing. Like but I think it started to really affect me because I was like, "Well, what the heck? Like, how do you come and then you leave? And no one's telling me anything. I don't know what's going on with Dad. I'm trying to figure out what's going on. Why is Mom leaving?" And you know, in hindsight, like now I can understand it because I'm a mother. But when you are a kid and you're experiencing your parents not there and the people you're supposed to trust the most and the foundation is broken. You know what I mean? There's no foundation.
So was it a feeling of isolation?
It was a feeling of neglect. It was a feeling of abandonment. It was a feeling of...
And these are feelings that you're receiving at a young age, 5 to, you know, when you're in school, you're feeling like, man, where is mom and daddy?
Other kids with their mom and their dad, and you're like, what is this? Like, I'm jealous, you know, I'm angry. Where's my parents? Like, am I not good enough? You know, then you start putting all of that on yourself when that's not a kid's, it's not, their burdens aren't my burdens. And I've discovered that now as the work is being done within myself. But when you are young, you don't know where to place those things. You place them on yourself, you know? So I dealt with that like for a while, being like, well, what is this? Like, and choosing wrong things and doing wrong things in my life because of that foundation. You know what I mean? And that those experiences, because I didn't have people, showing me the right way to indulge in relationship.
Right. And you also didn't have the male presence as well.
Right.
You know, so.
Correct.
How was grandma? Was she strict? Was she, you know, lenient? You know.
She was strict.
She was strict?
Grandma was strict, but also lenient. Okay. She had a very good balance. She was very loving, very honest, very blunt, very, very protective. You know, we were on routine with school, you know, having to be in the house when them street lights come on.
Yeah, you already know that.
Yeah, church, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah, so she was involved in the church.
Oh, no, yeah, and she had us involved. I don't even know if anybody knows the Charles Fold and the Charles Fold Singers, but I mean, we were I knew Charles Fold. Like, we were a part of the community, you know what I mean?
Did you sing growing up?
Sang in the choir. Yeah.
Okay, so you were really active. Okay.
Yeah. So church and God have been very prevalent in my life. You know what I mean? Right. But she was that, and she was a very headstrong woman who, you know, would talk to me and my sister about certain things. You know, when me and my sister wouldn't get along, she'd take me and be like, oh, goodness gracious, like, you my baby, let's go. And we would have Dairy Queen at the time when Dairy Queen was popping with the dip cone.
You already know that.
And she would, you know, spend time talking to me and like, and telling me like, you're a very unique young woman and you are going to grow up to be that. Like, she would talk. And I feel like I do that with my kids.
Was it a middle class background? Was it upper class?
Oh, I was poor. We were Section 8.
Section 8, okay.
We lived in the Valley Homes. In Cincinnati, Ohio, Lincoln Heights.
Okay.
Very
little projects or something?
Project.
Oh, really? Okay.
The people who see this, y'all comment.
Yay.
Valley
that's real. Valley
they tore them down and now they've rebuilt some things on top of those grounds. But it was very poor.
Okay.
Like, very poor. And like one of those things where, you know, you walk to the liquor store and you got to go through what we call the gap. And it's men that are like playing and shooting dice. But they respected the, you know, the kids. You know what I'm saying?
A whole different level of, you know, respect.
Correct.
And, you know, different codes that they, you know, they weren't, you know.
Yeah, but I was raised in all that. Yeah. Very hood.
Okay. Okay. Did she, you know,
but she may do. And my mom would send money to help us, you know, when she was working. She would send money to my grandmother and she would help. But it's so crazy because when I think about how poor we were, I feel like my life was very rich.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I
what you
come
mean.
from I wouldn't have had it any other way.
Yeah.
Like my grandmother loved us down.
Mm-hmm.
Like she loved us down. When I talk about her, like, oh my goodness, I feel like I could like.
I know. Me and my grandmother, that's a close person to me.
My God,
she
like,
raised me till I was 5.
A great job.
Yeah.
Like I can only hope to be that for my son and my daughter. But I do feel that if I was raised by my mom, and this is like, because I feel like my mom was going through so much at the time, I definitely believe that I would have been a very different person. I don't think I would have been as strong, you know? I don't think I would have been as resilient because, you know, like my mom was so caught up in her own life trying to take care of 4 kids that like, how can you give to us when you're trying to just stay afloat?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, so I'm so grateful. Like I always thank God. I'm like, oh my goodness, thank you, Lord, for letting me be raised by my grandmother. You know, like seriously, like I thank God every single day because that woman was everything.
Right.
Everything, all my morals, my character, everything I literally attribute to her being a good person. And you know, you make mistakes, but the core of who I am, the good of who I am, I give that to her. Truly. And I don't take shit. I give that to her too.
That's real.
That was one thing. She was that woman. Don't start no mess, but you finish that mess.
That's real.
You know, that kind of stuff. So I tell my kids that too. That fight. Thank you. Oh my goodness, I let my grandma down.
Did you have any experiences that she couldn't, shield you from, during that time?
My grandma?
Yeah. Like living in the projects. You know, do you have any experiences that you look back like, damn, I didn't have somebody to that I could go to for protection. Did you have like, anyone try to, hit on you or any inappropriate stuff that, you stood back?
I'm sure that I have. It's my that time of my life truly, like I ain't have no like molestation or no stuff like that. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'm sure that I've had inappropriate things happen, but I think over the course of those years, I tuned a lot of stuff out because, I was very disturbed as a child, like with my mom and my dad not being together, and then just like feeling abandoned and like all those things and emotions, I think super exceeded everything else that I was experiencing. So yeah, I'm sure I've had those experiences.
Did you show that outwardly in school? Were you,
Yeah, I was an AP honor student. Like I was high honors.
From jump?
Yeah, I was very, very smart, high honors in all honor roll classes. But then when my mom left and took the 2 oldest, oh no, I started to act out. I got kicked out of my AP classes. They was like, oh, because I was angry. And I was purposefully doing it because I wanted the
attention.
Yeah. So it was one of those things. But like, I've always been smart. I've always been 5 steps ahead, always been, like
quick-witted.
Yeah. So when I chose to be smart again, it was when like my relationship, and this is just skipping fast forward, rebuilt itself. Okay. Kind of, sort of. And I was getting ready to go to college. That's kind of when I was like, oh, I gotta take this serious because I'm over here being a little jerk and messing around with my life. This is my life.
Playing games.
So then I picked back up and became an A student again.
Okay.
But for some years, I was sitting in them C's.
I understand.
Because I didn't care.
So from 5 to 10, 11, you were with grandma.
Yes, I was.
Then moms came back into your life.
Yes, because the 2 oldest graduated. Yeah.
Graduated high school?
High school.
Okay, so now she said, okay, I can take on the responsibility of 2 more. So
right,
you
but now she's like, I want my kids back. And I'm like, I don't want to come back. I don't want to come back with you because now this is my life. I'm used to this. My grandmother's my mother. Now here I am again feeling like I'm being torn and ripped away from the only thing that I know or have had the most stable in my life. So that pissed me off. And I think that's what caused the resentment between me and my mom because I'm like, why are you doing this? You've left me all these years. How dare you? Now you want me back, right? But I was a kid. I had no idea what was going on. And it makes sense. Of course you want your kids back, especially when you feel like my dad stripped you of that right and took away that. Now the perspective of that.
So you feel as though she thought that your father stripped that. Okay.
Because
she had to go out and fend for herself and he got incarcerated.
And so she needed someone to help her take care of the kids.
I got it.
So of course you want your kids back. But to me, it's like, why are you coming back? But as an adult now, I can see the perspective of like, oh, of course you're going to come back and want me.
Not always.
But what I'm saying,
in this situation, it's a blessing that it happened there, but it's not always.
Well, she never wanted to give us up in the first place. So in this situation, it was always that. But to me, because of what I was experiencing, I was like, no, I don't want it. But I didn't recognize that my mom had always been there. My mom had always been there. It was that I wasn't. Right? It was that I needed to be able to come back and see what was happening because I had no clue. I didn't know. So that's what caused the tension between me and my mom, which was like, oh, now you want me back? Okay, here we go. Now you want to be a mom. Now you want to be a parent. Now you want to. My mom never stopped being a parent.
Did you check out your father while he was incarcerated?
I did, yeah.
So you went there?
Yeah, I visited my dad.
Was he far away? How far?
He was. I honestly don't know.
Okay, but you went.
Yeah.
A few times, was it,
A couple times, like if I visited Cincinnati or in Chicago.
No, I'm saying and when you were young, when you were 5 to... Okay.
Like, yeah, I would visit him. I would visit him when he was in prison with my grandmother.
And how did that feel, being behind a glass, talking to him? Did you ever...
He actually sometimes got to come out.
Oh.
You know how that's something the prisoners come out into that room and stuff like that. So I got to see him. I got to sit on his lap, take a photo, things like that. But I was a kid. I don't really know how I felt at the time. I mean, I'm sure there was a level of joy of being like, oh, my dad.
Did you get letters? Did you ever write him? Did you ever, because I know that you journal now.
Yeah.
Did you journal back then?
No.
No? Okay. Okay. So move with moms to Chicago or, the north side of Chicago, right?
Yep. Moved to the north side of Chicago, suburbs.
Okay. Now you're going into like middle school. You're coming into your own a little bit. How was that experience?
It was very different because I'm coming from the projects. I'm coming from a Section 8 home. Now I'm coming into like a middle-class family.
Oh, she was in a house?
Well, like an apartment, but it's still, to me, it was still like...
We're moving up.
Yeah, we're not like as poor. We still didn't have a lot of money, but we're not as poor, right? I was eating better food, right? I'm not eating liver and onions or bread and tomato paste. Like we have some level of food.
Yeah.
I'm around, more white people as opposed to like where I grew up, it was Black people only. You know what I mean?
What you mean?
So there was no diversity in Ohio where I was at, in the town that I was at. So it was very different. I'm like, who is this? What is this?
What's going on?
I wasn't going to church like that. My whole livelihood changed. You know what I mean? I was playing in the orchestra when I was growing up. The school that I went to didn't have orchestra. I played the violin.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Okay. And so they didn't have that in the school where I was going to with my mom. I had to petition. I was the one that started in our school, the orchestra, because I petitioned. I was like, what am I supposed to do?
I need this. Yeah, it's an outlet. Yeah.
But it was very, very different. And having to reacclimate to this new environment and being like, this is my life now. Why does this keep happening to me? Why? You're literally mind fucked. Because it's like, who am I at this point?
But a lot of people, Army brats are, I feel are like that because you get uprooted from what you're used to and now you have to, adjust to, a different circumstance.
Yeah.
So were you popular? I
was popular.
You were popular. It seems like I wasn't popular.
In a sense. No, I was popular in a sense where I'm really friendly.
Yeah.
I love people.
Right.
Right? And when I was in high school, I befriended the people that most people wouldn't befriend.
Yeah.
I was the person who was just very much so like a bright light. So in that sense, yes, popular. Not the popular person as far as the looks was concerned at that time. I was very weird.
But social.
But socially popular.
Yeah.
People liked me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You got along with,
Yeah, until they didn't, which was later on in high school. But that's because it was my choice, because I cut people off, but that's on me.
Okay.
Okay. Because I was growing and elevating.
So talk about high school. Were you involved in
High school, still playing orchestra. High school, I ran track.
You ran track?
I ran track. I was a sprinter.
Okay.
I wanted to do the hurdles?
Yeah.
I sucked. That was a fail.
Okay.
I thought
Were you fast? I
was fast. I was a fast.
100 meter, 200 meters?
100, 200. They tried to throw me in the 400. That was an epic fail. So keep me 100, 200. That was good. Hurdles, absolute failure as well. So that was my sports. I did.
Were you a star? Did people know you for that? Or was it just something that you were?
That I was in track and but I wasn't one of the fastest.
Okay.
No, I was not one of the but I was fast.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. So I ain't gonna give myself that.
You doing your thing.
Just win some. Put me in the relay. I'm like, put me second leg.
Yeah.
Put me second leg, third. Don't put me Or don't put me fourth leg.
Okay, you're lad.
I'm not taking it home.
I'm not taking it home. Yeah.
Second, third, I was good. You know what I mean? I caught us up.
Yeah.
But yeah, high school was fun. High school was fun. I think high school was the moment for me where I was like really coming into my own of just trying to figure out who Apryl was, getting, again, reacclimated to like my new life with my mom and, you know, all of that.
You know, because initially there was, you know, kind of resentment, but did your relationship with her in high school change? Did you guys get better?
There were some good moments.
You know what I'm saying?
But no, I always had resentment towards my mom.
Always.
Like I had a short fuse with my mom is what I guess I would say. So like if things would happen, I would pop off, you know, and being just like, I don't care, you know, and I'm like, that. But
do you think that's from being from, you know, around another woman and not having that male presence? Like, because most women, you know, and their daughters, aren't they kind of like that?
No, but I think it was more so like I was really mad at my mom. I was mad at my mom.
Okay.
Yeah, I was like, who are you? You ain't even parent me? You ain't my parent. It was that vibe. You know, you're not my mother. You now you want to play. Now you want to play house. Now you want to be like, that was the thought in my head because you took me from my mom. You left me, you took me, you're this. Like I created the story because no one told me the story. And that's what happens when you're a young kid. I believe you should talk to your kids because you are leaving me to have to create a narrative that's not facts. So here I was being like, you don't care. You never loved me. You hated me, you know? And it was like, that couldn't have been so far from the truth. My mom loved me. My mom had to do what was best for us. And she made the right decisions.
Now, I was watching a podcast that you did and you were talking, or actually I think it was Love and Hip Hop, where you were talking to your mother.
Yes. Oh, yeah. I remember
Did
that.
you ever get the clarity that you wanted?
I did.
Did you?
Yeah.
And what did she say? Because you were asking her specific questions, and you know you're asking about her relationship with your father, and you know just her headspace and why she did the certain things that she did. What did she tell you?
That she just did not want me to hate him. You know, she didn't want me to hate him. She didn't want me to know the full truth because she didn't want me to dislike him. You know what I mean? Like she disliked him, but she didn't want me to have a certain level of hate. And I said, well, I don't, but you could have told me what you were experiencing because again, like I said, you're having me create the story and this narrative for you. But in protection, I guess it was just in protection, like wanting me to not know what really happened between them and, you know, hoping that she could just suppress the domestic violence or, you know, hoping that I don't remember or recall. But maybe that's a part of the culture too. You know, my mom is fully Asian and sometimes they're very stoic and very mysteriously quiet about certain things that they're experiencing. You know, they take all that on themselves. And I feel like that was who she was. She didn't really want to talk to me about it because it was a reminder to her what she experienced. And that's painful when you want to erase it, you know, but I'm that kid. We're gonna talk about it because I need answers and I'm getting ready to have a daughter. What does this look like? Who am I? Who are you? I don't have that because I've been tousled. So now when I'm in this sense of postpartum and I'm trying to figure out, now I'm scared as hell to have a daughter, you know, and here I have a little girl and I'm like, am I gonna be like my mom to how she was with me? And I've got all these, and that's what drove me into a postpartum, literally. So I knew that I needed that clarity from my mom and she gave it to me. I promise you it broke me out of my postpartum. That is what took me out, was because I was like, okay.
Now I have answers.
Yeah, and it was that sense of like, oh my gosh, here I created all this stuff. You are actually a really amazing parent. And you went through a lot and we broke that. My mom broke that. It was almost like the generational curse at that moment of me asking her and sitting with her and saying, I'm not judging you for it, but I really need to know. We were able to break that chain. And her being like, wow, and you don't judge me? Because in her mind, she thought that I was going to hate her or guilt her.
Because of the domestic?
Yeah, and because of how she feels like she couldn't be there for me. But I was like, it's not your fault, I understand. I just needed to know
why.
Yeah, and who I am, but I need to hear it from you. You know what I mean? And in that moment, I'm telling my mom and me, that's my best friend. I talk to my mom on a daily. I love you, Mom. I talk to my mom daily. I call my mom, I talk to her about men, sex, drugs,
I'm talking
my kids.
Yeah.
You know, anything that I go through, my mom and me, we locked in.
Yeah.
She get on my nerves sometimes. I know I get on yours, but that's my best friend.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we've come a very long way. I'm so proud of my relationship.
That's what's up.
with my mom.
I love to hear that.
Yeah.
I love to hear that. So high school, popular, running track.
Yeah.
Was there anything else? Were you dating a lot? Were you know?
It was bad. I was on party lines. I got in trouble. I got kicked out the house, just like normal kid stuff. You know what I mean? Just normal kid stuff.
Roller skating? Were you know?
I mean, I roller skated. I double dutched.
Okay.
I had hickeys on my neck. I mean.
Yeah. Average, yeah. Did you have like a girl group? I know you're a singer.
That wasn't until after high school.
Oh, that was after
So
high
that was
school.
when, like in college, like
Okay.
coming out of college, and then I entered into a girl group.
Okay.
Yeah. But high school was fun. It was, you know, normal high school stuff.
Okay.
Going through those emotions, trying to figure out relationships, trying to figure out myself, growing my little teeny ninga-nings at the time. I could call that.
Hey.
You know, growing and developing into a young woman, and then guys being like, ooh, and I'm like, oh my God, a man, like it's all of those things. Like, I feel like normal things. And then I'm off to college.
And that was Southern Illinois.
Southern Illinois University.
Explain that situation. You know, you go in as a freshman, how you feeling? You got your things out. You know what I'm saying? And, you know.
So from high school, because I started to pick up my grades, and I was in high honors again in high school, I got to graduate high school early.
Me too.
Right?
Me too. Yeah.
So when I graduated early,
17.
yes.
Okay.
But I didn't walk. I couldn't walk with them because they weren't my class, right? I had to wait to walk.
With your
in the interim of like graduating early, I worked.
Okay.
I worked and I just saved up for a car.
Where'd you work?
At a bookstore. I became a manager at this bookstore. It was cool.
Okay. Okay. Is that how you got into reading? And
No, I've always loved books.
Love books.
Yeah.
Okay.
My grandmother used to have us read.
Was that your outlet? Was that just escape, or it's just something that you just always have loved?
My escape, I feel like now, because I just enjoy it and I love it. But no, I don't know. I think I was forced when I was younger.
To read. Grandma was making you. She like, hey, we need to, you to be on,
Yeah, I love books now.
Okay.
I love books in a very different way. Like me and books is like best friends.
Okay.
Because it's so much knowledge in books, you know. And I don't feel forced. Now I'm an adult and I can decide if I want to read
Novels or self-help.
Self-helps, biographies of people and discovering people, things about our politics and our history, which is very intriguing.
You're a very introspective person. I love that.
Yeah.
It's like you can tell that you're doing the work. You know what I mean?
Thank you.
And the growth.
Thank you.
I love it.
Thank you.
Let's talk about college.
Okay.
Tell me about your experience. How'd you
College.
what were you doing? How'd you feel?
I felt good to be on my own. I felt to not be like, you're a young woman at this point, right? I don't have to listen to anybody.
Were you in dorms?
So I wasn't in a dorm. I actually messed up my dorm situation. So I actually stayed in like an apartment, but with another student.
Yeah.
So that was really cool.
Okay.
And of course,
For all 4 years or 3 years? How many years?
yeah, all of the years.
All
I didn't stay in a dorm.
Okay.
But I had different roommates, and some roommates were disasters and some were, it's just like normal college stuff. But nonetheless, I was happy just to be 8 hours away from home.
Oh, 8 hours.
Yeah, because Southern Illinois is like really close to St. Louis. It's like an hour and a half. So I would drive to St. Louis sometimes. I would go to not St. Louis, Tennessee, which was 3 hours away. Atlanta was 5. So like we would do road trips, things like that, me and some of my friends. But
outside.
yeah, but home was like 8 hours.
Okay.
So during that time, it felt like an adult. I was living my best life. I'm, dating. And, again, just discovering myself in this new environment, growing even more in my body. I'm discovering what I want to be and what I want to do. Because, you got some of that pressure on you where it's like, all right, freshman and sophomore year, cool, you can play around a little bit.
But now
what's this elective? What you choosing? And it's like, oh, wow, okay. And so having to do just having to figure it out and realizing like, I kind of miss home. I kind of like my home cooked meals. I'm here at the college eating potatoes.
Yeah.
Fun, And now you realize, I wish I could kind of be a kid again. Like all this responsibility. I don't like this,
Right.
And having to work and stay afloat and, take classes and I have to show up and like really all the responsibility. And you're like, is this life? You know, this is cool. But I put a lot of pressure on myself in college.
Okay, why is that?
Because I remember I was telling you, like just acting out. So in high school, not until my junior, or maybe in sophomore, junior year was when I got back into my high honors. Yeah. So being in college, I was like, no, I got to prove to everybody that
I am this scholar.
Yeah, and that also I'm gonna graduate.
I can do it.
Because I was such a rebel child that everybody was like, she gonna drop out of college. She gonna drop out. Nuh-uh. So I put more pressure on myself than I should have. And I over-excelled. I felt like, you know what I mean? Like every year, high honors, dean list, to the point where I stopped like being as social as I should have been. Like I didn't really go to football games. I wasn't the person that literally went to
dating an athlete. You weren't.
I dated a track guy right when I first got there because he was just so on me. Oh goodness. But that was
got him.
Yeah, but that was
he was on me, but it worked.
He was a fifth returning.
And it worked.
He was a fifth returning track person, and all the girls liked him. And I dated him for like 9 months. But yeah, no one else like that. But yeah, college was it was just discovery, a lot more discovering oneself.
Of course, yeah. That's
realizing like, oh, okay, now we're at the end of this, and now I've got to really, you know, figure out what real life is going to look like. And I decided on my degree because I did want to be a doctor. You know, I love. When I was a kid, I used to go to nursing homes with my grandmother. My grandmother used to clean houses.
So similar.
Yeah, so like, to the nursing homes I talked to, I loved it.
Yeah, me too.
So it's like, I knew that was going to be a part of me, right? And I wanted to deliver babies. But then I was like, no, I can't do this for all these years. So you know what? Let me figure out what else I could do that's not that much. And that's why I went into the OB sonograms and all that stuff, sonography.
Okay.
So that program is one of the only programs that offers a bachelor's in it. So I did 3 years of prereqs, 2 years, and then had to do my, medical interning and things like that. So I medically interned in Rush Hospital in Chicago for 6 months. I did St. Louis Lake St. Charles Hospital for 6 months, doing my medical interns, Schaumburg, Illinois for 6 months. It was really cool. So like a part of my last couple of years of college, I wasn't in college because I was rotating through like medical.
Like interning.
Interning.
Yeah.
Which was cool.
Right.
So I had a very different experience. But coming out of that, I got a job at Northwestern Memorial, which is one of the best hospitals in the nation, Chicago, downtown.
It is.
And I worked down there. I lived on Michigan Avenue at the Sky 55.
Hey,
Y'all know where I live. Really cute. For me to be 23, 22, coming out, living in a high rise, got my own car, down the street, working at Northwestern Memorial.
Oh, you doing it.
Yeah. Oh,
You feeling yourself.
I was. At that point, I was like, dang, okay.
Yeah.
You know, seeing from my house the Sears Tower, which is now, I believe, the Willis Tower. They changed it.
Right.
Like, it was like a high in life.
I've arrived.
You know? Yeah. Oh, I'm proud of myself. Okay, I'm doing this. And then I started working there, and I was like, maybe a year and a half in, I'm like, this life, you know, I'm like,
monotonous, you know, it's the same. You need change.
I want more. Yeah. And I got offered to be in this girl group, and I was like, cool. So while I was working, I was in a girl group.
Okay.
All the girls moved to California, and I was the only one still in Chicago. And it got to that point where they were like, man.
Wait. So you started a girl group in Chicago?
Yeah, well, they did. I was the last girl to come in.
How did you get in?
Through a mutual friend. So you know Willie Taylor through Day 26?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so his wife, Shonda, is one of my close friends. Okay. And so she ended up bringing me into this girl group.
Okay.
She was like, we need another member. I was
how'd they know you could sing, though?
She did.
I know, but I'm saying, are you somebody that's always singing? You sing in the shower? You singing, you know?
I mean, because like, most
Can you sing?
Sure. I mean, I could sing enough. I ain't Whitney Houston. I ain't hitting the...
Right. But you can sing. You can hold your okay.
Yeah, I can sing. I have songs, you know, that you can listen to.
I'm gonna listen.
Yeah, on Apple Music.
Apple Music.
Yeah.
What's your favorite song that you have?
Oh man, you know, honestly, I don't have a favorite.
Come on, you gotta have one.
Well, I wrote
represents you,
but it's not out yet. There's some songs that even if I said what was my favorite, I haven't put them out. And even I was playing some the other day, and my son was like, "Mom, why haven't you?" And I'm like, because I've done so many different type of music and songs and genres, trying to figure out what I wanted to do in my lane, and I just never put it out.
Because you talk about how music is your passion.
Yeah.
Now, is it because of the violin?
Yeah, I was in the church, you know.
Okay.
There. Church, and then orchestra, and then I was learning the piano, then I quit that. And then, yeah, it just has always been the thing that's been my outlet. You know, back in the day when you used to go through problems and you'd be like, whatever, and you come up in that room and you push record. Remember how we used to record tape?
Yeah, with the two,
Just record, just create, and wait for certain songs to come on, push record.
Record and play.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I would just sit there and do that, and then that would be my thing to play when I was
WGCI in Chicago? Yeah. You listen to the radio.
And I believe it was the Wiz. It was I don't know, something Cincinnati, the Wiz.
Yeah.
But I used to do that. Like, music was my outlet.
Okay.
It was the thing that allowed me to push through when I was like stressed and going through the things that I was going through in my life. But
so you working 9 to 5.
Yeah.
Friend of yours says, "Hey, come in this girl." Now, were you guys practicing a couple times a week?
Yeah, a couple times a week at night after I get off work.
Did you have a manager? Did you?
I didn't have a manager, but the producer was married to one of the girls in the girl group. And so he was kind of heading it. And then, like I said, they all moved. He got a very good opportunity to move to LA. And then
what was the opportunity?
Like producing for a lot of big artists, you know, and like in the gospel world.
Do we know him?
Well, I'll say it here. Blaze, he was on Love and Hip Hop.
Okay.
He came on the show, Blaze the Champ.
Blaze the Champ, okay.
And so he produced for us and all that, and we were supposed to be doing like a showcase for Universal Republic. And the girls, we just didn't get along at the time. So that's how we just fell apart. But we were good.
Well, was it hate?
I think it was like girls not knowing how to understand that sometimes you got to do what's best for the group. And sometimes your voice ain't that great. Like,
who was the lead?
Me and Jessica.
You were the lead.
Yeah,
okay.
Me and Jessica were the lead.
Lead?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
She like, yeah, that's me.
But I mean, like, you know, some of the other girls, well, one of the girls kind of felt a way, you know, about it, and I just feel like, I don't know, it's just one of those things where we were younger, you know, we're not communicating the best that we should have communicated at the time, and it just fell apart.
A lot of egos.
Yeah, and people kind of going through their own specific issues that it really collided and caused, you know, friction because people didn't know how to separate that and then do business, right? So, and for me, I can't work like that. So then I ended up becoming solo, doing solo music, actually with Blaze. He was like, look, you're dedicated to this. Cool, I'm gonna help you. And so he still helped me, and I was doing solo music, and in that interim of doing solo music, and now I've left Chicago.
So you moved from Chicago to LA for the girl group.
For the girl group.
Did you guys move in together? Did you get your own place?
I was living with Blaze and Jessica. For a little while.
Okay.
And then I ended up moving out when the girl group didn't go well. Okay. And I ended up moving in with a friend.
Y'all got into it. You like, give me the help.
And now we got into it. I don't even want to say that. It was just that their understanding was this ain't happening.
We're on the same page.
Yeah. And that's okay. Yeah. Right.
So how long you were there for? A few months, a year?
Maybe like a year.
A year, okay.
Yeah. And then I ended up going solo. And then I ended up basically, this is ridiculous. Nate Walker, he's done songs like Blame It on the Goose, Got You Feeling Loose. He produced that and stuff. But we went to high school together, right?
Really? Okay.
And
in Cincinnati.
In Chicago.
Oh, in Chicago, okay.
So I'm at this like party in LA, right? And it's a phone party, and I'm dancing, and this man is on the back of me, and I'm like trying to move the phone in my eyes. And I'm turning around, and it's my friend from high school that I haven't seen in all these years. And I'm like, what the world? So funny how God works. That relationship, we recultivated that relationship. Still friends to this day. He just texted me yesterday. I gotta respond. But still friends to this day. When the girl group didn't work and I had nowhere to go, he was like, move in with me.
Come on.
But he lived in a house with guys. And so I moved in with them. I was doing music with them. And also—
Where was this, in the Valley? Or?
Yeah, like Studio City.
Okay.
So I stayed with them until basically I ended up meeting Omari.
Oh.
Believe it or not.
So you in a girl group, and all of a sudden, you meet somebody, and was he already blown up at the time, or was he?
Yeah, he was doing very well.
He was doing, okay.
He was doing well.
So you meet him, and you like, damn.
Yeah.
Okay, so was it initially on a singing tip? How'd you guys meet?
Who, me and O?
Yeah.
So I was at that house, right? And it was like a lot of guys that lived in that house. We were like 6 of them. So I was dating one of them, right? We really liked each other. We young, little thing.
Yeah.
And at that time, I was still, I work out. So I was working out at the LA Fitness, and I ended up running into this guy who trained some people.
Yeah.
And so he was like, hey, let me train you. So he knew that I did music based on just kind of a conversation while he's training me. And he's like, but I think he liked me. So what he was trying to do, was introduce me to Omari, who was his other client.
Yeah. In hopes that
like it
you
was
see what I got, I got a
And
connection.
it epically failed because then Omari basically reached out to me after.
It was like, hey, what's good? What's good?
Because then Omari reached out to me after that workout session, and I was like, but he was like, you cool if you need, to basically be shown in LA, hit me up. Okay. So that's how me and O ended up meeting.
Okay.
Yeah. And then, we spent time together. I was, like I said, just dating this other guy that I lived with. And
you were into that relationship.
Yeah, well, basically, I would tell the guy, like, hey, me and O, I was very honest and very vocal about that at the time. Like, hey, can I go hang with him? I'm going to go dance, whatever. He would let me.
Okay.
So I'm like,
dance some videos?
Like, we would just dance at the house. Like, practice, because O would always dance. We were younger, so this is the stuff you do when you're
all that with you can, okay.
I mean, at the time, my parents apparently said that I'm real Asian and I don't have no moves, but I said, what?
No, I've seen you say you and, anyway.
Yeah.
I've seen
but yeah, me and O would spend a lot of time together.
Okay.
And of course, when you spend a lotut of time together, you know what I mean?
It's inevitable.
Yeah. And so he was like, I remember we had a conversation and he was like, look, if I like you, you know what I mean? Like, if you are questioning what this is, and I know your living arrangements is this, I'll take the responsibility on, basically. And so I was like, oh, okay, right? So then that's how me and him ended up basically kind of living together.
Oh, so you moved in with him right after that.
And we dated. He was still, talking to other people. You know what I mean? Like, we talked about all those things. Like, he would tell me, like,
that's what's up, man.
Yeah. Like, and I'd be like, look, it's you. He's like, you want to have sex with other people? I'm like, no, but you. He's like, I might need to. I was like, get it out your system.
Yeah,
get it out your system. And so,
you touring and whatnot.
Yeah. And then he would tell me, he'd come back home, and I'm like, how was it? Did you do some stuff? And he'd be like, I did. Like we would talk about those things.
A real one, yeah.
Those things. Yeah. I didn't mind because
you weren't tripping.
Yeah, because I felt like, number one, we friends, but also I'm not trying to change you. I don't want to. And also I'm appreciative of like the fact that you like are even allowing me to stay in this place. But we were really building a friendship. You know what I mean? And he needed to do that.
Okay.
Like, that's not something you force anybody. I don't believe in that. Like, you gotta let a man, to me, or a woman, not just men, you gotta let a man or a woman get that out their system because they're gonna
do it regardless. They're gonna do it regardless.
That's it. And
they ain't gonna tell you, but
right. So it was like I didn't want that. I would rather you just know that I'm accepting of that because you are not mine, and like I do not own you.
But how'd you know that at a young age? Because a lot of women don't get that until later in life. And
I've never been tied to anything. Look at my upbringing. I've never been tied to anything.
So you weren't tripping regardless.
No.
You weren't investing. You weren't giving of yourself really regardless.
No.
You're like, all right, nigga.
Because why? My structure and my foundation.
In your mind, you like, I know that I'm only giving a certain amount.
And also because at the end of the day, so many people have lied to me. At this point, I'd rather give you the opportunity to just be who you are because I want to be told the truth. At this point in my life, tell me the truth.
Yeah.
Because I've been lied to my whole life.
Yeah.
So I've always operated like that as an adult because it's like, oh gosh, really? Here we go again in another relationship where I've got to try to figure you out and you're just going to disappoint me? No, disappoint me now. Just tell me that you're a piece of shit.
Yeah.
And I can accept it.
Yeah.
And you know what? I respect it.
Yeah.
All right, cool, I can do this with you. Give me the choice to choose. So I've always been that way because of where I come from.
Right. So you guys move in together, fall in love, and
get on Love and Hip Hop?
No, well, yes, but the reason why we got on Love and Hip Hop, so we fall in love. I was on birth control at the time. I'd been on birth control for 10 years. Yeah, 10, but I told him, I was like, I think I need to give my body a rest. He's like, I agree. And so we discussed that. I was not going to just do that without him knowing,
I'm
right?
gonna pop me a baby out this.
So I got off and literally got pregnant, right?
Yeah.
And he was very excited. I was excited. And like, you know, we were posting. Instagram had just become a thing. And so we were posting it, and we were a really liked couple on Instagram. And I think like when Love and Hip Hop was doing and putting this show together, they gravitated towards our relationship.
Right.
And he was like, you know, what do you think? And I was like, I really don't. I never wanted to be on reality TV. I don't.
They approached me for what is it? What Shawnee's show?
Love and Basketball or Basketball
Love
Wives?
Basketball Wives.
Yeah.
They try to get me on that.
But I was never my thing. But then his manager at the time was like, this could be really good for him because it'll showcase who he is, you know, all of the perceptions that the world has conjured up about who he is. Now he gets to show him in his relationship, who he is as a human, who he is in partnership. And I was like, if that's what this is, I'll do that for you.
So you felt like you were taking one for the team.
Correct.
You like, yo, I'm gonna do this for us, you know what I'm saying?
100%. Because I think people should know who you are. Little did I know what it was gonna do for me. Like, you know, later on down
it blew you up.
I mean,
you mean?
You know, there's a lot of good that has come from it, and I guess that's anything in life, right? So I am grateful. I will never sit here and try to shit on anything
reality TV
or any experience that I've had in my life.
Okay.
Because I am grateful for everything that I always am optimistic, and I have that viewpoint. So I'm grateful for the show. But there is also this part of it where it's like, you got to remember, it's TV. They show what they want to show. So if I was working. I was doing my stuff with my medicine. Why wasn't that not filmed? You know, I was pregnant working up until my son was 9 months in my stomach. And until Post to Be blew up. You know, and Omari, like helping take care of our household while he was working. Like I was providing as well. You know what I'm saying? So it's like people
I saw you give a natural birth as well, which was...
I did.
Wow, that was amazing.
Yeah, both kids at home.
Oh, both?
Yeah.
And you just had a doula or whatever?
Yeah, a midwife. Who Elizabeth, I love you so much.
Wow.
Who is, to this day, she is family.
And so you always take the you know, the alternative route instead of, you know, you don't trust the system, I guess?
Sure.
Okay, I don't leave it at that.
I mean, you know, I don't have a problem talking about it. For me, I would rather allow my body to do what my body should do.
Yeah.
And then if I can't handle it, then we figure it out. But I am always gonna be
just makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I don't trust what you say just because you said it.
System.
Yeah, I'm not putting things in my body just because you tell me to.
Right.
That's my take on and sentiment on feeling like I need the knowledge before I press forward on anything.
So how long was it into dating that you got pregnant? Wasn't it?
Oh my goodness.
So?
It was like a year.
Okay.
Yeah, about a year.
So
but we were like, I mean, that was my friend. You know what I mean? Like we were friends. And
were you ready?
I don't think
Did you feel as though you were ready? Were you anticipating it?
No, I wasn't.
You got off birth control, so was it?
I mean,
in the back of your mind, were you like
ready? And it wasn't like we were planning, but it was more so this thing that if it happened, we talked about like, oh, if this happens, then, and we were like, well, we're 20. You know, we're 25, 20. Well, we're 26. So we were like, we're 20. You know, I was 26. He was 28.
Okay.
So it was like, cool. You know what I mean? I know I could. And we talked about what it would be like to have kids together. What it would be like if we didn't get married or if we did. Or if this relationship didn't work out, how would co-parenting look? We went as far as that. Like, what's the beliefs? How would we raise our kids? What did these, like we had those conversations.
Almost like marriage prep.
Yeah, so for me, I felt comfortable enough to have kids with him because I was like, well, you know, you can't tell and dictate life. Life is going to happen the way it happens, but I feel sure that we would be okay.
Now, do you feel that on the other side?
Now?
Yes. That, you know, the talks that you have.
No, how did it change?
Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Niggas be changing.
But we good now.
Yeah.
Me and him are very good now. But wow, goodness gracious, you talking about my son is 12 years old. It took us up until now, to get to a better place. And it's so much that the world doesn't know about my dynamic with that man. And they will never know.
Yeah.
I will allow people to continue to create a narrative of whatever they feel like they want to.
This is your
but my life was,
story.
And it was a lot that I experienced. I will say this though, I'm proud of the both of us.
Yes.
Because I always say this when I speak to my friends. I was just telling my friend this other day, I said, me and Omari's plight ain't our children's fight. What we got going on and what we've experienced don't got nothing to do with with these kids, right? They should not have any part of our fight. To me, the recovery process of any relationship is the best process because it shows, all right, yeah, you may not see things eye to eye. Yeah, okay, but can we be adult enough to, mend this relationship, to fix it for the sake of, the children. And I feel like we've crossed over to this other side of like, especially for me, because I can only speak for me, but just being more peaceful and trying to have a better understanding, asking the right questions to understand how he feels, what he thinks.
That's big.
And also to be expressive and not be passive with him about how I feel and what I think. And I think it's lended us, we do family therapy as well.
Yes, to this day?
Yeah, we just started not too long ago. So we do family therapy.
That's big.
And allowing the kids to be expressive and both of us being expressive with the kids. And it's been a really beautiful
dynamic
and process because we care enough to see what they feel and to mend those things that they did see along the way, and also to try to mend what we've experienced and what pain we've caused each other. Not just me, but him too. You know what I mean? And the realization that like, for me, I'm proud of us is because like a lot of people don't get there. They'll allow anger to keep them locked down and holding grudges. We are both doing a good job of being like, let bygones be bygones.
Let me look in the mirror and take responsibility for my actions.
Yeah.
I gotta ask you though, how the hell did you get? I didn't know. I didn't know this until I started looking you up. How the hell you get with his castmate though? Seriously, how the like? Well, were you guys like? Was he at the house all the time, or you know what I'm saying? Like,
no. So I've seen Drew, right? I've seen Drew, but I never formulated my own relationship with Drew with that. Like Omari and him never were like close when I was around.
And if you don't feel comfortable talking,
it's okay.
I'm just from the outside looking in. I don't know your situation. I just looked on the internet and I saw that, and I'm like, whoa, how the hell did this happen?
So we ended up going back on to Love and Hip Hop, right?
Okay.
When I was single. So I was
you were single. Okay.
So I was 5 years out of my relationship with Omari.
5 years.
Right. My daughter, he and I split when my daughter was 2 months. Right.
Omari.
That was 2016.
Okay.
I didn't end up doing the Love and Hip Hop where I met, where I started formulating my own relationship with Drew until 2018-19.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Okay.
And so we built a friendship because we were on the same show. I was single, all of that. So none of what my decision making had anything to do with Omari. I had been left the relationship. I had moved on with my life.
And I'm sorry. I'm sure many people know I'm not really big into reality TV, but I was looking back on some of the stuff.
And so I moved on with my life.
Okay.
This wasn't a situation where it was like two people when I was around that are best friends and like it was never that, right? It's like if you were somebody and cool with a guy who worked at Burger King and then y'all no longer work and y'all was employees at one point. Like it's, just on a smaller scale.
How did you feel about that as far as loyalty or, did you feel as though that was?
No, because I wasn't married to anybody. I wasn't in a relationship. I wasn't married. I wasn't in a relationship with anybody. And my reasonings of what I did and what I wanted at that time and what I was experiencing at that time was, and I will say this because I said this on the Carlo King interview. I was in such appreciation for Drew in that moment of my life. Like he was really there as a friend. And I think in any case, when you have someone who's showing up for you, you trust, you feel safe. At that time, that's just what it was.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I got you.
It had nothing to do with anyone else at all.
That's I bet it's hard being a public figure, living your life in the public, and other people having their opinions. And
it is what it is. You know, I think this is the life you sign up for, but also I think that people want to keep you stuck, right? Me and Drew.
That was probably
8 years ago. That was me and Drew.
And I'm sorry to bring it up.
No, it's okay, because I understand, like, this is an interview, you know, you're going to ask the questions, but I think it's good to ask the questions, but I also think it's good for people to understand, like,
you don't want to,
it's not about being, and it's not about being stuck. Like, certain things you elevate from. I was 20, how old was I? I was like 30 years old, 31, you know what I mean? Like, you got to remember, I was in a very different place, and I was going through a very different transition at that time, and I'm not that person anymore. That was 8 years ago, and it was what it was. And you got to be accountable, and you got to say, okay, that's my life. This is my life. I've made certain choices. Could I go back and have done it differently? Sure. Would I? No. And I said this on the Carlos King interview. To me, what I experienced, my truth, maybe not what they believe to be truth. I didn't hurt anybody. It wasn't intentional to be like, oh, I'm with somebody, right? I'm with this guy, and here I am hurting the guy that I'm with. No. When I was dating somebody, I was full into the relationship. I never cheated. I loved my man down. I gave to that partnership. 5 years out of the relationship, bro, I'm doing what I want to do. And whatever the world thinks, that's on y'all. That don't got nothing to do with me. It's my vagina. It's on my body. I get to choose where it lands.
Hey. I love that.
It just is, and I can but like I said on Carlos King interview, I can understand the perception, and I can be sensitive to what y'all's perspective is.
But this is me.
Over my life.
This is me.
But again, I'm the one living in this body.
I love it.
It's my body, my choice.
I love it. Yeah, that's one of the things I respect about you, man. I had Princess Love on the show a little while ago, and she was talking about how she had, somebody that she was dating give her, $100,000 a month. In your experience in the Hollywood lifestyle, like, have you been around anything, and how she couldn't go back to an average Joe. Do you think that you could date like an average?
I did date an average.
Okay.
I did date an average Joe.
And do you think that you could do that now?
I think that I could date an average guy that actually loved me down. Sure.
So that's first and foremost?
I think it's just about, I gotta have respect for you.
What are you looking for? Yeah.
I am looking, I'm not looking, by the way. I'm allowing God to just allow things to just happen. But in a sense, the kind of guy that I would want to be with would be somebody who's honest, who's okay with being himself, good, bad, ugly, and different. Someone who is a person who makes my life easier, right? A person that brings value into my world, because I'm an independent, successful woman. I could take care of myself. So I don't need you to come in creating chaos. I need you to come in and alleviate stress. What that looks like, maybe help on a bill or two, sure. I don't care if it's a $40 gas bill, that would alleviate some stress. As simple as that. Or, hey, I've cooked for us because I like cooking. You may wash the dishes. Thank you, because I've got kids and I'm tired and I don't want to have to do that because I've saved away.
A partnership.
Right, team. Someone who is thoughtful. Okay, you see that I've been going hard. All right, babe, like go get your feet rubbed. I don't even need to get my toes done because I don't really care to get manicures and pedicures like that, clearly. But just someone who's gonna bring value and thoughtful.
Yeah.
Someone's gonna bring value into my world. And keep it very peaceful and want the best for me and want the best for my kids.
I love that.
Outside of it, I could date a man who worked 3 hours during the day. He's just got to be a good man. He just got to be a good man. I'm not opposed to and sure of himself, because again, I've dated guys who don't have a lot and then they date me and then they lack the confidence because they're too busy comparing and competing. Why are we competing? I don't need to. You need to be confident in whatever it is you got going on, sir. Whether or not it's a 9 to 5, whether or not, that's the only thing that would steer me away from dating someone like that, is someone who is unsure of who he is. You need to be sure of yourself.
You also have said that you're there for a lot of people, and you know, does that take a toll on you? Explain what that looks like, in what capacity, like, because you know, being in your profession, you kind of have to be like a nurturer. You know, is that kind of who you are? What does that look like?
For me in the industry, I just feel like I give so much of my personal life, but also publicly you've got to give, right? Just energetically. And there's got to be a fine line with that stuff, or you will be drained, right? And you will not have enough for self at home if you're too busy worrying about the outside noise. So for me, a lot of times what that looks like for me is like having a complete reset, you know, traveling, solo travels. People see me on my Instagram, I'll be gone because it's a reset for me. And just really trying to, I just silence myself from the noise. Like I try to stay out the way. If it ain't got nothing to do with me and my kids and my life, the outside, I leave it where the outside is. I try to find as best as I can, I try to find a balance so that, there's a lot going on.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
It threw me off.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I apologize.
It's okay. Dang, take me back.
The balance. What do you do for other people? Damn. Anyway.
Oh yeah, wait. Okay, so you said nurturing. So yeah, so naturally, I'm a nurturer. Taking care of my kids.
And if it ain't about that, then you know.
Yeah, if it's not about my children at this point, or me making sure I'm good internally, I try to cancel out the noise. And I do give so much publicly, right? Like events or things like that, that sometimes I do have to step away from both things because it's a lot. And, you know, no one can give when their cup is empty. So my way of refilling that is solo traveling and, you know, so I've maintained, but back in the day, it wasn't so easy because I would care. Like, you know, at times I would care a lot about everything. I'm not in that place where I could give two
shits.
Yes. I could care less what anybody has to say about who I am. And at this point, I'm like, oh, I'm the hoe? I am the hoe.
That's all right, yeah.
Oh, I'm the, it's okay. I'm the home wrecker, whatever. Yeah. You know, even when people are like, yeah, well, you've got miles on you. Surely I do. Miles after miles after miles. Like, I don't, like, it's like.
You know yourself.
Right.
You've done that work.
And who don't got miles at the age of almost hitting 40?
Hey, you know
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you should have a little mileage. That's called being seasoned.
Hey, you
know
right.
What I mean?
Hey, ain't nothing
You're an
wrong with that.
experienced rider.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so it's like, I'm just sure of myself at this point. At this point, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what people say. It doesn't matter what you do. It doesn't matter. I'm like, this is more of a you thing than it is of a me thing. You know?
Yeah, I feel
like, so I'm okay with that. And I actually have a lot of compassion
for you
and where you are, because that don't got nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
You know, and this is sad because you don't even know me to feel the way that you do. And I ruffle feathers. I really do.
Of course, because you're strong.
But I think it's a good thing because you should look at yourself in the mirror and you should feel those things and ask yourself, why do you feel those things? Because I used to feel them too. I'm not exempt. Shit. I used to be like, oh, I don't like this person. Oh, like I was that as well. It's the journey of life. But
talk about Hollywood in the, you know, the good, the bad, the ugly. Have you gotten any experiences that have, you know, kind of, you know,
rub you the wrong way?
Rub you the wrong way, or, you know, inappropriate, you know, behavior that, you know.
Yeah, I'm sure, you know, like people have hit on me, or, you know, jobs, you know, people saying, oh, they can give you certain things if you do certain things, or if you go out on a date, or, hey, meet me at a meeting, and then the meeting ends up turning out to be not a meeting, but more so like you want to hit on me. And it's like, no, this ain't it. This is not. But I have small amounts of those things happening, because I think the minute that I open my mouth, people can recognize I'm not to be fucked with. I'm not her. We gonna have a conversation. Why'd you think that was okay? Why did you think that it was okay
for you to
sit
bring
me at
here?
So basically, you're telling me you weren't really gonna give me this job. All right, but you gonna pay for this meal though, right? All right, so something, waitress.
Yeah, let's talk.
Let me go ahead and add something on this real quick. And then I'll get up
out of here. Yeah, that's
clear.
Like, you want to play me? All right, nigga.
So I'm very vocal.
Right.
I think people know that about me, and it served me well here in Los Angeles.
I saw that you also studied with Tasha Smith, and that she kind of got you into acting.
She's the reason why I kind of, did it.
Really?
She basically, She's like, what is you doing, sis? What the hell is you doing? You got a personality, you're beautiful, like you're a light, like you should be acting. I was like, I don't want to do this. I do not want to do this. And she's like, come to my class. You come to my class. I was like, I don't want to come to your class. But I went to her class. They do this thing called dumping. And it's like an exercise where we would stand like this and we scream and yell at each other, right? And so I was like, oh my God, when that dumping session finished with me and this guy, I was like, I felt so liberated. I felt so free. I was like, this is therapy, truly. And then you get to dive into these characters, right? And I'm like, oh, so you're saying I get to dump like this and then I get to become somebody else? Oh, okay. Then there was this feeling that I felt that I was just more curious about what that looked like. So I continued to take other classes. I continued to do the research of, oh, this isn't just an easy thing. Like you're actually breaking down this character. You're actually substituting the people. You actually have an objective here. What is the overall goal? Like, what is all this? I'm thinking you just get in front of the screen and you just like, hey, like, no, you're like diving like this. It's just like any other job that's very hard, you know, and I have respect for the craft because it wasn't something that I wanted to do. And now because I like a challenge and I felt like acting was a challenge, but it was a challenge that I fell in love with.
Have you done theater?
So I have never been trained in anything acting, but I did do theater with Day 26, Willie.
Really?
We actually did a play in Maryland.
And how was that? How would you
It was,
explain that
it
situation?
was amazing.
Was it?
I mean, you know, I've had first time situations. That was scary. You know, you're on a stage, it's live, you have some singing moments. It was great.
Was it electric? Did you?
Yeah, it was very.
Did you feel as though you connected with the audience?
Absolutely. Well, again, I work really well in those instances where I'll dive into something and I'm okay with fucking up, right? So it's like, all right, well, let's just try it because we only live once.
Yeah.
So it's like, am I going to be ruled by fear or am I going to say I actually did this, right?
Yeah, fear is the opposite of faith.
Right. And so I don't operate in fear.
You don't
Even when I feel it, I'm like, oh, fuck you.
Yeah.
I'm going over here with it. Even when I feel it. And so with that, I was scared. I was scared as hell. But I was like, what's going to come of it? And I was more curious about what was to come of it than the fear itself.
How many shows did you do?
We did, I think it was like maybe two.
Two?
Yeah.
Okay.
But
what did you take away from it?
That I was just so happy that I did it, that I did not subject myself to the fear, that I allowed God to, that my true faith and belief in God was way more grand than the worry, than the fear, than the questioning of what that would look like. And I just allowed myself to just be and exist. And it happened to be one of those moments in my life where I was like, I'll never forget this. You know what I mean? And that I now know that I can do anything. The only way to do that is to just,
and to do.
And then to say, I did this, the one thing that I didn't think I could ever do. And then you keep doing more and more of those things, right? Like, a lot of those lessons, I feel like that's just been my life. Like, dang, why I have to go through that? But I feel like I've always been that. Dang, am I gonna fuck up over here? Well, I might, but I'm gonna do it. And then I'll say to myself, I know that I shouldn't have done that. I shouldn't have touched that hot freaking stove. But now I know I'll never touch it again. But that's the experience of life. I know I'm gonna die one day. We all are, right?
Of course,
and I say this out loud because I think I have to remind myself that that's what this is.
True.
And so, yeah, it's the truth. And I'm very logical. So with that being said, I always keep that in the forefront of my mind where it's like, death or do. I'm going to do. I'm going to do because death is inevitable. It's coming, right? I need to be able to say that I did everything in this life while I have this life.
Yeah.
Good, bad, ugly.
And you are a light, you know.
And why not? And if I can have these platforms to like tell someone, one person on the other side of this camera that's questioning if they should do, or if they're scared, or if they're like, I'm so held down by other people's thoughts and this, fuck people.
Fuck people.
And I mean that nicely.
That's a real statement.
And I mean that nicely because I love people, but no one is coming to save you. Okay?
Captain Save.
So live your best life. Do what you want to do with no thought, as long as you're not hurting anybody, as long as, you know, you're walking, you know, in the, like, doing things the right way.
Purpose.
Yeah, do it. It's okay.
You are approaching 40.
Yeah.
Come on over to the club. I'm
Thank
40,
you.
I'm 47. You
look
know
great,
what I'm saying?
look great.
And you look beautiful
Thank
as
you.
well. What do you see in the near future?
Mm.
And what are some of your goals?
I see in the near future just more and more peace. I don't like thinking about what is to come, because when I've done that over the course of my life, nothing ever happened the way that I envisioned it.
True.
Even when I set a goal, all the goals that I did set, I overexceeded the goal by not being hell bent to being like, I've got to do. It's that I saw it, I envisioned it, I knew that I could do it, and I did it above and beyond what I thought. So I think I like living life freely. I like living life in a way where I'm not like, what's my goals? I just want to live. I just want to live. I don't want to have to think about tomorrow like that. I want to be able to just think about being the best mom that I can be, being the best daughter, that everything is changing for me. Because my mom, I'm watching her get older. My stepdad, I'm watching them get older. Like time, right? And like my kids are getting older.
Being present.
So like, yeah, and like, so cultivating my relationships. And that's one of my goals, is just to cultivate my relationships, to be a better daughter, to be a better friend, be a better human on this earth. How can I love harder? How can I share it and pay it forward? Those things. Goals, they're gonna come. Money, it'll come. Like, it's more so just being the internal aspect for me at this point. Yeah, okay. Not so much the outside. I've attained I've touched money. I've not had money. None of it matters. Yeah. What matters is the inside, the internal work. I've done a lot of work on myself, and nothing. Not the high, low, it don't matter. It could change, all the shit could change, but the inside of who I am has me very grounded, very peaceful. So when the world is spinning, I'm still. And that, I feel like I've arrived, right? To this place where it's like, oh, even in the chaos, even when it's good, it all still feels the same, because it's just, I've done the work, yeah. So yeah, that's the goals thing. I don't got none.
You ain't got no goals, okay.
I mean, I do have goals, but it's just not at the forefront. Like, it's just to be a good person and to show up and
and God
to love.
God's gonna move and work regardless.
Yeah, right? And of course, I could sit here and say goals with my acting and just be better, but like, I know that I'm gonna be that anyway. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I know I'm gonna get better. I'm gonna continue to dive in. I know that. Like,
don't you love it though?
I do.
Don't you love how God always shows up and shows out?
He does.
It's crazy, and when you have that foundation and that assurance that the Lord is going to provide and that He's going to, exceed, give and exceed Himself, it's a beautiful feeling.
You don't worry.
You don't worry about anything, right? I love it. What would you tell your 5-year-old self?
Ooh, that's a good one.
What are some
my 5-year-old self, that it will all be okay. That it gets better. That this feeling or this thing that you're experiencing, you have no clue how good it's gonna get. And the things that you think are not really what it is. And that you're going to experience some things in your life, but what you're experiencing, the perception of those things will change as you get older when
you have experiences.
That's it, when you start to have experiences. And so this is all a part of the journey. This is your journey. You've got to be open to it, stay curious, continue to ask questions, and then you'll arrive. And I think, if someone would have said like, okay, you gonna have some shit, you gonna have some bumps in the road, you gonna hit your head a few times, I would have been like, okay, like I know what's coming. I had no idea. So I would tell that little 5-year-old, like, it's okay. All those things, all those bumps in the road, you feel it, you go through it, and you ask questions about it, and stay curious about it.
I love it. How can people get in contact with you? We have to wrap this up.
Okay.
It's been such a good meeting.
Because we can talk.
I know we can. So we're talking.
So anyone who wants to reach me and DM me or any of that stuff, Apryl with Apryl Jones, Instagram, Snapchat. Yeah, and you can find all my contacts and stuff through Instagram. But yeah, please DM me. Tell me your thoughts. Tell me you love me. Tell me you hate me. Tell me you don't like something. We can talk. We can shoot the shit. We can banter. I love a good conversation. That's how you can find me.
And she's a real one. You know what I'm saying? Ain't too many people that accept criticism, accept life for what it is, and you are a real one. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
So I appreciate you. Thank you for coming on the show.
I appreciate you guys. This was fun. Please have me again. VIP Hollywood edition.
You know the pedigree. Pedigree.